introduction. All right, so okay, I think everybody can see my slide deck, I think. All right, so, I mean, it is a little bit different presentation that I used to do because I usually talk about just only the science and research thing, but this is very, kind of different. And also I'm very happy to be part of this kind of opportunity I have. So I want to introduce myself first about my career trajectory. So I was born in South Korea, in Daegu. So that's where I start. And then I finished the undergraduate in Korea. And then I got a job in the Amore Pacific Group in Seoul. So that is the cosmetic company. I'm sure some of you know about the K-beauty these days a lot. So this is the biggest cosmetic company in Korea, So there are many different brands that I think some of you already saw this one from Sephora, for example. So it's very big company. And then, I enjoyed the working as a scientist over there to make some cosmetics. And however, at some point I feel like, why I need to stand up in the lab all the time to do some experiment. I didn't like it at all. So I said, well, I want to change my career a little bit to work in front of computer. So I decided to apply some program, and also I was young, so I want to be abroad too. So I decided to apply some, the master program in computer science at University of Houston. That is why I moved from South Korea to United States. The reason is that I chose the computer science is, again, I didn't want to work in the lab anymore. So I said, okay, what is the good major to in front of the computer? Of course, obviously computer science. However, it took many years to finish the master. The reason is, my undergraduate is Chem E major before. So I need to take a lot of prerequisite first before I start the master program in computer science. And when I started computer science major, I was really bad about the computers. I didn't know about what is the MS Office versus the operating system. I have no idea what's going on. What is the difference? So that much, I have no idea about the computer. And then if I look back right now, I was really brave and maybe very naive also too. So because of a lot of different regions, it took me 4 years to finish the master in computer science. So I chose the digits option to finish the master. So that is where I saw some database about the simulation data, the one you guys doing right now for some DFT calculation or MD simulation, that kind of data processing. That is what I got my master project. So I like the database class a lot. So that's why I chose this kind of topic. And then my professor was he was professor in computer science and chemistry department. So that's why he had a lot of data about the simulation data that I can work with. So so I developed, I got a lot of database from my advisor group, and then I developed some database plus in some user interface. This is really more than 10 years ago. So it's very, very a kind of awful GUI, but that is what I start. So using the Java programming language, so I developed some kind of toolkit to search the database. And then after I finished the master, I realized that I didn't want to be a programmer because I'm not good at all for the programming that compare what computer science major people. The reason is I did an undergraduate course, but I was not very good at all. So, and then, I could do some programming, but not like a hardcore, like what computer science major. At the same time, my advisor was the chemistry professor also too. So I learned some simulation data when I developed the database. And then I thought, oh, maybe I can work to make a simulation data. So I was very interested in the computational chemistry work. So, and then that means I can use my original major, like which is chemistry versus computer science. So I want to work in between two somewhere. So I talked to my PhD, the master advisor, about his comment and suggestion, and he introduced me Professor Adrian Royberg at University of Florida, where I decided to do the PhD in computational chemistry. So I moved, that this time is a lot easier instead of 2 days trip. This time I drove in 2 days from Houston to Gainesville, Florida. So I met my PhD advisor, and then he talked about some protein folding. That is what he was interested in, and then using the molecular dynamics. So I thought this is what I want to do also, because I was a little bit familiar with about the simulation data, like a coordinate or conformation like that. So I decided to start the protein folding research for the PhD program. So I enjoyed a lot, the protein folding area. And also I love to do some molecular dynamics work. At the same time, when I analyze data, I have to use my programming skill, which is very advantageous because as a hardcore computer science major, I was not really good. However, as a computational chemist, PhD candidate, I was good enough to do the processing my data. So I thought, it is well kind of balanced between programming and also the chemistry. So that is what I did the PhD. After I finished the PhD, as a lot of different other PhD students, I wanted to do the postdoc. The reason is, to be honest, I didn't know about what I want to do after I finished the PhD. I didn't know about whether I want to go to the industry or academia or some other places. I have no idea. So, easy thing is just apply the postdoc and then to have another 2-3 years to think about myself more. So I decided apply the postdoc position. And then I got a offer from Professor Ken Howe at UCLA as a postdoc position, where I met Stephen. So that is how I moved to UCLA. So it was really long move this time. It's across the country. And also I live in Gainesville, which is very small town, campus town. And then, moving to the UCLA, I mean, similar Seoul, where I came from originally, but still, it was really big city and busy and very expensive. And so LA wise, I didn't like it that much, but I learned a lot of new science from Ken Howe, which is really, really important for my career. So I can tell I have two very important mentors in my career. The very first one is, of course, my PhD advisor, Adrian Royberg. And then also the Professor Ken Howe is another, my really big mentor for my career. So I learned a lot of things from him, not only the science, also how he managed the group and how he become a kind of big and good scientist. So a lot of different, aspect I learned from Ken Howe a lot. So I was hired to do some molecular dynamics and also some protein work, because that is what I did the PhD for, protein folding work. And Professor Ken Howe group is more like a DFT focused, and then he does a lot of DFT work, and then he wants to expand it to the enzyme design processing to include molecular dynamics and also some other aspects. So that is how I got an offer from him, and without any DFT experience before. Good thing was his group is one of the best group to learn organic, the chemistry work and the computational chemistry work, including the DFT. So I learned a lot of DFT skill from his group also, which was very important for my career trajectory, because people, I was computer science major a little bit, And then I expanded to the protein folding and molecular dynamics. And then I learned some DFT side for the computational side. So I thought, these two, like a DFT and molecular dynamics, is two big kind of area, which not many people can do both. So that is how I got the experience from Ken Hawk's group. It was really important and good thing to me. And then I did the 2.5-year postdoc. So after 2 years, I decided I want to have a job, right? I cannot be the postdoc forever. And also I learned that I don't think I can be a good professor. So my aim, I dropped the academic career for myself. So I want to be an industry or other places. I went one of the conference and when I was in UCLA, and then I met one of the person in the conference, and then he asked me about all my research. And then I talk about my research. And then at the end of the conversation, he gave me his business card and then asked me like whether I'm interested in working in national lab, which actually, to be honest, I never would think about my career in national lab before. But I didn't want to say, oh no, I'm not interested, right? So I said, yeah. And then he gave me the business card. So after back from the conference to LA, I emailed him with my CV. And then I got an interview in NREL. And then that day, at the end of the day of the interview, he offered me a job over there. So that is how I moved to the NREL. So before I decided and accepting the job offer from NREL, I was really hesitating because I told you I never think about my career in national lab. So, and I have no idea what's going on over there. So I only think about the industry because that time I only know about the career path, industry or academia. And then I decided not to go academia. So that means only the industry. And I never think about the national lab, which is in between two kind of. So I talked to my PhD advisor because he's my good mentor. So I asked him what he thinks. And then he recommended me to accept this offer to go and then figure it out. So I said, okay, I'll try maybe 2-3 years first and see what happens. But at the end, I've been there 10 years, which I didn't expect. So I moved to the NREL. So the first one is I did really similar work that I did when I was in UCLA and also Florida. So I did a lot of kinetic mechanism work using the DFT and also molecular dynamics for all kind of bioenergy research, because NREL is among a lot of different national labs. NREL is the very unique mission, just one mission in national lab, which is very unusual. So the NREL is only you work energy-related research only. So, and then my department was bioenergy center. So I have to only focus on the bioenergy and bioenergy research using computation. So we had a lot of internal collaborator from the experimental part also. So I had a lot of direct collaboration with the other the experimental group, which is really good because when I work in UCLA and Florida, usually sometimes we have an experimental collaborator next door, like a next lab. However, sometimes a lot of time it's like a different state, different place, so it's, or sometimes I didn't have any experimental collaborator when I work in academia. So I thought, oh, this is really good kind of setup. Also, we got a lot of opportunity to work with other national lab also too, as a big consortium. So I met a lot of people, like not only the theory side, the experiment side, among a lot of different national labs. So, I work a little bit like this, and then as usual, and then I applied internal funding as a PI. So because after 2-3 years in NREL as a scientist, I feel like I need to think about my career goal, right? So it was very straightforward. I can decide to moving toward to the PI role. So I applied the internal funding in Enroll. So that's what they call LDLD. And then I failed the first year. And then the following year, I got the funded. So this is what I got funded. My very first project, I became a PI role. Soon after, I got another PI role.
Seonah, sorry to interrupt you, Seonah. I don't know if you mean to advance any slides. You're still on the first one.
What?
Really? Yeah, so you're on like the yes, welcome slide. Yeah, so, okay. I wasn't sure if you were transitioning. I assumed there was a map kind of going,
Maybe I'll just go this way then, if that's okay.
Okay, sure, yeah. Just wanted to let you know.
Right, thanks.
Sure.
So maybe this is good enough for everyone to see.
Yeah, looks good. Yeah.
Let's see. So I got the first fund, and then soon after I got another PI role from the Computational Chemistry and Physics Consortium. This is 6 national lab work together. And then I became one of the task leader for the computation, the micro scale computation, which means DFT, QM, MD, QMMM area using small scale. So this one is quite big effort. So, each year it was like under my subtask myself, it was like $1 million per year project. That is what, how I got a lot of, productivity with scientists and then postdocs too. So this is some of the representative paper that we published. But again, I only work on the energy, bioenergy area too only. And then after that, at one point, I feel like I got another opportunity to become a task leader from one of the big the effort from DOE. They call co-optima of fuels and engine. So I got some opportunity to lead one of the sub tasks here. And then, but problem is, I didn't know what was going on, this concept at all. I never ever learned this one before. So it was very new topic. Combustion was very new topic. And then I have no idea where I can start. So I searched a little bit myself. And then I chose soot and emission is our topic. And then I was thinking to use the machine learning and QM together. QM is, of course, that is what I used to do work. So it's very reasonable, but I want to add another big kind of area. I want to expand myself and also my group too. But this one was 6 to 7 years ago. So at that time, machine learning was not popular at all. It just started. So even myself, I didn't know about what it is. And then I hired one of the postdocs. And then he also didn't have any idea about the machine learning. That was not his background. However, he heard, and then he asked me to do this under this task. So I was like, oh, I don't know what it is. And then he was also same thing. And then, but he was very aggressive to find the new opportunity. So I thought that's very good attitude and very good idea. So let's start together to learn. So we decide to work together to develop the machine learning. So that is where we start. However, upper managers really hate me because what are you doing? What is the machine learning? So it was really hard for the first year because they never ever heard. And then they think I'm just waste their money. But, we have to start somewhere. So, and also there are many people, expertise in this combustion area who are very good at quantum. So I thought I cannot compete with them with my quantum skill in combustion area. So I thought I need to find some other route to enter this area in combustion. So I just tried the machine learning, and then that means what? We need the big data. So I need to search the experimental collaborator. So, and then I found some paper, interesting paper that I think this is gonna be good example for my database. That was the Professor Lisa Pofrell's paper. I never met her before, and I don't know who she is. And also, of course, she doesn't know me also. But I mean, I have nothing to do, right? So I just like email her saying, okay, I read your paper. This is really good, data set that you have. Is it possible I can use your data to collaborate with us to develop the machine learning tool for your experiment? And usually the big professor like Yale, they never gonna email you back immediately, right? Usually like sometimes maybe after 2-3 months later, sometimes never. And also she doesn't know who am I, right? So, but surprisingly, this is very good story, I think. Surprisingly, she emailed me back next day and say, yes, of course. So I was really, really surprised and happy for that. So that is the starting point I met, Professor Lisa Pofrell group and including the Charles McNally too, who originally developed the Turing index tool. So that, then we used their database and then we, developed the machine learning tool and then we published many, many papers together and also conference presentation too. So that is how I expand the machine learning. So of course, after 1 or 2 years later, machine learning, area is start to grow. And then, I got a lot of compliments from our DOE managers saying, oh, you did a really good job. You already did. So who complained about my new, the approach year ago. So that is how I, grow myself in NREL as a PI. So I did a lot of research in bioenergy, right? So, and then, I did a lot of mechanical study, studying, UCLA, and also I did some material design using the QM and MD. And also I started the machine learning. So I've been in NREL like 10 years, and then I feel like, oh, what else I can do from here? And also, if I look back, I was really happy to learn bioenergy research in NREL because before I joined the NREL, I didn't know about what is bioenergy research at all. So I learned a lot of new concepts, and also this is really good for the mission wise. So I really liked it. However, what else I can do after being PI, what else? I feel like, oh, I need a new challenge for both research wise, because I don't want to just do the bioenergy only research, right? I want to expand, but NREL's mission is only the energy research. I cannot go any other place. So that's number one. And number two is I became a PI, and then I led a few projects by myself with scientists and postdoc. But what else I can do? I feel like I do same thing over and over, writing the grant and then hire postdoc or work with other scientists in NREL and then work together. It's good, but sometimes I feel like, oh, is there any other challenge here? So I feel like, well, maybe I should think about other career. That is what I was thinking myself a lot. And then I told you I never would think about my career in academia. So in national lab, I can go either academia or industry, but I was not very interested in industry job because when I work in NREL, we work with other national lab also, and also NREL's we work with a lot of industry people too. So we work. So our working style is very industry style work because we have a lot of joint project with industry too. And I feel like industry also, each industry company has their own mission. So that means it's similar, right? You cannot go beyond. So I thought maybe academic career is a little bit different because you can pick your subject, whatever you want. Of course, it depends on your funding, but you still can go instead of only the energy. If I want to do some drug discovery, I can go if I want. That kind of freedom is very important for me in research wise. So that's why I decided, okay, maybe now, maybe I might can try academic career. So that is how I decided to apply faculty job. So I applied many places. And then finally, I got an offer from Colorado State. So I started this new job in January last year. So it's only year and a half so far. And also, I'm not super familiar faculty job yet, not like Stephen or other people, but so far so good, I want to say, because at least I can define myself what I want to do for the research wise. And also, I start to know about other funding agency, other people. Of course, I still continue to work with NR people and also some industry work. So I like some kind of freedom that I can work a lot of different people, different office, so that is where am I. So in my group, I call our group name is Computational Modeling of Bioenergy. Still, I love bioenergy research, by the way. So, and then we have 4 different big options, the approach that we are doing. So the very first one is very classic, that we do the mechanism-driven work using QM, QMMM, or MD simulation. And also, our group we do a lot of material design for the biomass upgrading, because not only for the mechanism to calculate energy differences, we also want to talk about some other catalyst design part using computation. For example, diffusion is one of the example. So we calculate the diffusion coefficient, which is not easy to measure by experimental. And also we do some computational phase diagram also, so to figure it out what is the optimal temperature and pressure for your experiment computationally. And also we do a lot of machine learning. So, and then we also do some co-optimization of the fuel and engine efficiency. This is very engineering focused work, which I like, because every day I think my research, if it's not impact to my parents or my family, then I don't feel like I don't have any motivation to work hard. So I want to see some direct impact. So I designed some candidate for biofuel candidate. What happened if I put this one in my car to run my car engine? That is what I want to know about it, right? So that's why I like some very engineering mind project also. So that's what we are doing. And then that is what I explain about my career. So I'll stop here if you have any question about my career trajectory wise.
I have a question. So,
sure.
Hello, my name is Latifah. I'm a rising second year PhD student in Labs group. So I'm right now starting to think about my career path. And as you say in the beginning was like, I'm sure if you'd like to go to academia and industry, like why first you not choose like academia? Like just say, oh, maybe go to industry.
My reason was very straightforward, actually. I thought, I'm not still 100% sure, but I thought, I'm not good enough to be a good teacher for the student, so everyone is very important to Dora and son in their family. And then I don't think I can be a really good mentor or teacher for the student. That's what I decided not to go academia at that time. Still, I am not convinced, 100% convinced now, even though I just moved to the academia. But at that time, I thought I cannot do it at all. Now, I still think I'm not really good teacher yet. However, right now, I decided I want to try hard to be a good teacher and mentor. So that is what I'm doing right now.
Thank you.
I have one question.
Sure.
This is Maggie. I'm a visiting student from Middlesex Community College to this school. And one thing I'm curious about, since you were in the industry all the time, and then you want to become a faculty. So to become a faculty, do you need to get a certain certification, like in education, or no, you don't have to?
Oh, no. So there is no certification for to apply the faculty job. Usually faculty job, the requirement is having a PhD in relevant area. So especially in chemistry department, they will ask you like, okay, PhD from chemistry, chemical engineering, like some related area, PhD. That's all about the kind of requirement for the education wise. And then other than that is like, this is research school. So, they want to see some research activity, whether you are very productive to publish the papers, right? So you have how many papers you have, what kind of paper you have, and also what kind of research subject you want to do in academia. So that, and also if you have any, fund that you already got, that will be very important. So that kind of thing is more important, not like a teacher certificate like that.
Thank you.
I have a question. Well, first, my name's Daniel Chambers. I'm also a rising second year PhD student. I had a question about your postdoc position. So what exactly made you decide to do a postdoc at UCLA, and how are you able to find such an opportunity?
So when I finished the PhD from Florida, I didn't have any idea what I want to do, by the way. So I talked to the other people in Florida. So the thing is, the reason is, which I didn't talk to you about. One thing is, in my group in Florida, I was very first PhD student from my advisor. So I am number one for my PhD advisor. That means what? In our group, we don't have a senior. So I was the oldest, right? So I have no idea what I can talk, who I can talk. And then in Florida, there are other theory group, and then there are other group, other group has the postdocs and senior graduate students. So I talked to them, like, the other, computational group postdoc, and I asked him about what should I need to do, because I have no idea what to do. And then he asked me what is my research interest. So I talked to him. I said, oh, I like some, protein folding, enzyme design thing. And then the postdoc, he recommended Professor Ken Hao at UCLA. He said, well, based on your interest, you can try postdoc at UCLA with Ken Hao. Maybe his research topic will be very, very interesting for me to do. And also he think that is a good direction to expand my research experience. So he recommended me. And then that's why I applied the UCLA and Ken Hao group. And also, he's not the only one. I checked the other professors, right, in USA to figure it out who else, do the similar work. And then I applied, a few places also too. And then Ken Hao is the very first professor who replied to me to offer me a postdoc position. After that, I got a few more the email from other professor, because some professor, they don't have fund right now, and I apply, but after many months later, she found some money, right? And then they collected the CVs, and then they emailed them later. So that is what happened to me. But Ken was the very first one I got the offer, from him. And also I thought that his research area is really good, and also I really want to learn and also expand my skill set. So it was very well matched research wise, but I didn't know about I want to go like industry straightforward. Also the reason is, if you want to change your mind later to go back to that from an industry to academia, you'd better have the postdoc experience. That is what I knew already. So that's why I decided to apply the postdoc no matter what. Because in 2 or 3 years, postdoc, not much change for your entire career, right? But if you want to change your career after 10 years later, too late, you cannot. So good thing is like I work in UCLA as a postdoc first before I moved to the Enron. So after 10 years in Enron, I could pick my career path to the academia because I had the postdoc experience. If I didn't have that experience, I don't think I can have opportunity like that. I might ended up in industry, I think. So, open the more door, I think that is very important.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Also, I want to add one more thing. Also, I think you guys learn a lot of this kind of talk from other faculty members who are like straightforward, right? Like do the PhD, postdoc, and then academia, right? But I'm a little bit, different trajectory I had. And one thing that I like, my experience, it takes a lot longer time than other faculty member. For example, like my age, like most of the professors are full professor already because, they just like straightforward, right? So, but I don't think I waste my time because I really enjoy to learn some engineering mind project when I work in Enron. So I thought it's really good and fun time for that over there. So I don't think I waste my time at all. But other people think I'm a little bit slower, but I don't mind. I can work a lot longer than them. So then I can match. So I think, you guys should not think about, oh, I'm too late, I'm too slow. I hope you don't think like that way. Everybody has their own pace. If you love your science, what you are doing, and also if you like your speed, fine. But don't be lazy, but do something what you love. All right. I don't know how much time I have, but I prepare some research talk too, but I'll be very quick and short. The reason is I talk a lot of things, and also, of course, you can email me later about the details about our research. But I want to talk about some kind of overview of the bioenergy area why this is really important. So it should be like a slideshow, but I cannot do the slideshow. So the thing is, climate change is really important, right? A lot of people talk about climate change. And then the Guardian saying, a few years ago, Guardian said 6 language have to be changed on climate matters. So for example, climate change, and global warming. The thing is, warming is not bad word. And also same thing for the change. Some change, sometimes it's good, right? Like a career change, right? So that's not exactly what we want to talk about. So they suggested instead of the climate change, we need to call climate crisis or climate emergency. So that kind of looks like a very big problem, right? And also, instead of global warming, we need to call global heating. That's what they said. So it's very important vision. So Oxford Dictionary, every year they publish the word of the year. So 2019, right before the pandemic, was the climate emergency was the word of the year. That's very important. Of course, for your reference, 2020, they chose unprecedented is the word of the year. And 2021 is facts, you know why, right? But anyway, so climate, the emergency is really important issue these days. And also in 2020, in European Green Deal, they call, and the EU said they're gonna be a very first carbon zero continental by 2050. So this is ongoing project right now. So this is really important. So why people talk about the Tesla or electric cars a lot, like that. It's also related with all climate emergency vision. So every year, the Lawrence Livermore National Lab publish U.S. energy bubble. So this is 1990, which I can find the oldest one I can find. So 1990, if you see what is the energy, what kind of energy we use in the States, it's usually petroleum, coal, natural gas. That's kind of a major part, easy to expect, right? And then when 2000, and I moved like 10 years later, and then still, the petroleum, coal, and natural gas is the major. Interesting thing is they start to have biomass and other. So other means wood, waste, geothermal, solar, and wind. Those are the all other. So include all together is 3.7 quart out of 98.5 quart. So this is 2000. So it's it's only 20 years ago they started to think about renewable energy sources, right? And then this is the most late, the newer energy flow chart, which is 2021. If you see here, now it's very different. So before it was 2000, year 2000, they said biomass plus other, right? All renewable energy is one category, but now it's all separated. So petroleum, coal, and natural gas start to decrease. At the same time, we have biomass, geothermal, wind, solar is all separate. Right? So it grow, but we have to grow a lot more. That's the thing. So here, this is another chart that you can see. So you see the coal is definitely decreased. And then the natural gas is similar. And the petroleum is also very steady state right now. It's not increased anymore. So instead of that, renewable energy is filling in the gap right now. So in the renewable energy, what is the renewable energy? This is out of 11%, the 43%, almost half, is the biomass. There is the reason for that. So this is what I want to talk about, you guys. So of course, all the renewable energy research is very, very important and good. But why still people need to talk about the biomass? So for example, have you ever seen the Tesla trailer? No, right? All the trailer is not, you cannot make electric, right? Only the regular car or maybe small truck. That's what Tesla tried to make it right now, right? So that means what? All the big trailer, bus, like that kind of thing, you cannot make electric. But these days, Americans, you guys go to the shopping mall often? I don't think so, right? Usually you click the button from Amazon, right? And or other place, right? And then what? Trailer gonna deliver your package to your home, right? So diesel car usage is increased a lot more than gasoline right now in USA, and also not only USA, in the world. But you cannot make electric diesel car. So that is why. Then how you can make a green, fuel, right? Other than biofuel. So that's why biofuel area cannot be decreased because of the region. Of course, you cannot make electric jet plane, right? Also not for the marine part too. So those are all biofuel should be, should be there instead of the petroleum. So that is why bioenergy area is also very, very important that I want to focus on. And then, so we are the theory group, right? So how you can make biomass, the cones or wood, to make renewable fuels and polymers using computation. That is what my group doing. And then we do a lot of catalysis work, machine learning work, and everything. And then I don't want to go that much detail, but one example I want to share with you is bonded dissociation work. That This is very important in combustion work and also drug chemistry, drug design also too. So, and then, but the thing is, calculate each PD is easy. However, if you want to screen many, then it takes very long time. So we decide to develop the machine learning tool to predict bond dissociation energy. That is what we did. So this is our database. So we have like almost 500,000 BDE database for our training. And then we developed BDE tool here. And then our BDE accuracy is, MA is less than 0.6 kmol, which is quite accurate. And then we also can apply very big model for the prediction for the BDE, which is very accurate also too. And also, this is very important for the pharmaceutical company people, because when they can screen the drug molecule, especially P450 case, CH activation is very, very important. And then that means what? You need to predict CH activation. Where is the lowest CH activation energy? That is PDE. So that is how we apply the many drug candidate here, and then we predict quite well. So that is what we have. And also, every single machine learning toolkit that our group developed, we also always make a website for everyone can come and then measure whatever they want. So this is our website that you can go, and then you can put your target molecule to want to know about the PDE. If you don't know the smiles, you can draw them. So this is the movie. So if you don't know the smiles, then you can draw, and then we can make smiles, and then click the submit button, and this is from the lowest energy to the highest they show you. And then of course each they have some neighbor button here, right? Because that is how you predict this CH bond dissociation energy with training with the other molecules. So similar molecule gonna show you also too. So those are the kind of fun tool I want to introduce you guys. You can take a look and then figure it out. Especially the experimental people really like this tool, because when they synthesize or propose the mechanism, which path they can go, they want to know about the weakest bond, right? So that is how they can come here and then check. And then it will be helpful for them to propose their mechanism. So that is how we do here. So that's the one example I want to share with you guys. And then, of course, I want to acknowledge you with my groups and student visitors, and also all my other external collaborators also. And then thanks so much for your attention. So happy to have additional questions.
I do have.
Sure.
So there's cascade of questions, because talk about the climate hating, scientists always talk about that way, and politicians, they will talk about that way. But from my life, personal feeling, I don't feel that way. For example, I don't feel each year getting warmer, number one. Number two, in the past year, there's a snow and the flood in Texas. And also this year in Canada, they have snow in June. So someplace getting even colder. So how we talk about global warming? That's number one question. Number two question is, I'm very interested with the biofuel right now, because I have friends from Japan, and they said that country is very unique. They don't want to, they did lots of research, but they don't publish all of their research. For example, in their country, they don't use too much gas for the car right now. Instead, they use hydrogen. So what I'm thinking is, so since the gas is rock high in the United States, and everybody blames the government, so do you think this will accelerate or get more funding to pour into your area to speed up your research?
Very good question. So the first one is global warming issue. So these days, many places has very extreme weather right now, right? That means what? It is global heating, that is global warming, right? That is something wrong. So we have to figure it out. So that's why EU talk about it. They want to be carbon zero continental by 2050. That means what? We are not gonna use a lot of petroleum. We're gonna use more like electric cars or the environmental friendly resources. So biofuel is one of them. The reason is biofuel is we use the cones or wood to make a biofuel, right? So the thing is, so that plant gonna use CO2 a lot, right? From the refinery, right? So factory make a lot of CO2, and then to grow the plants, they need CO2, right? So it's kind of circulating. So at the end, they said that's why they said biofuel can be a carbon zero, example. That's because of that, right? If we can control between these two. Another big area for that area is the CO2 capture and utilization. So that is another big area to research in these days to use it. So to grab the CO2 and then from CO2, grab the C to make a CN chain to make renewable fuels or chemicals and polymers. And then, of course, right now, gas price is quite expensive, right? But it was not like 2-3 years ago, right? It was very cheap in USA. And when I started Enron 10-11 years ago, biofuel is very important subject. So in Bioenergy Center, 100% fund is only focused on to develop the biofuel candidate. That's all. However, as time goes by, gas price decrease, right? That means what? People say, why you want to work biofuel? Still, look at the price for the gas. It's so cheap. And the biofuel is not very cheap like that. Still right now, per gallon, if we calculate biofuel, it looks like $3.5 to $4 per gallon. Wow. That's the latest technology right now. So right now it's compatible, right? But actually 2 years ago, no, it's not. So the DOE decided to change the direction a little bit. Before we 100% work on the biofuel by itself. However, maybe 5-6 years ago, we started to have more projects to make, instead of biofuel only, bioplastics, biopolymers, biomaterial, chemicals, because those are more expensive, and then good kind of environmental friendly also. Like if you can make a bioplastic, that's good, right? And also, or use the waste plastic bottle, reprocess to make a plastic again. That's also possible too. So there are a lot of different areas that DOE want us to think about to expand. So that is how they do these days. But still, biofuel is very important for biodiesel and also jet fuel and also marine.
So, back to 3 years, your folks were a little bit diversified.
Yes.
But now, do you see a trend that they pull you back?
No, I think we still can go parallel.
I see.
So for example, biofuel, because we already use the bioethanol in your gas blends right now, right? In 10% overall, So we already have very good technology to make bioethanol, no problem. So we still can keep going more to make 100% biodiesel car, for example, right? Or 100% jet fuel, that kind of thing is our aim, right? We can blend right now, but at the end, we want to use the 100% biofuel, right? For the jet or diesel trucks like that. That's the goal, but we don't have to only focus on that because the rest of the part is also very important. Think about, plastic waste is really big problem right now, right? So if we can reprocess for that, that is another big area for sure. So we can diverse because 10 years ago, biofuel was not very efficient. that time it's like per gallon is more than $6-7. So now it's like it's going down a lot. So we have quite mature technology already, in my opinion, for biopure side, but not 100% but
Thank you. That makes it more interesting, even more. Yeah.
Any more questions?
Yeah, just a quick one on how is the transition between like going from like working on proteins to going to materials? Like,
so that is very important and advantage as a theoretical chemist, in my opinion. So in the lab, you cannot change easily like that, right? If you do the like enzyme work and next day, can you do the inorganic catalyst? No way. However, theory people can do it. So it is biggest advantage that we have. Of course, you have to learn about the background knowledge, right? Because the enzyme is protein word, right? So you have to learn something. And also inorganic catalyst means what you need to know about inorganic catalyst at the chemistry area, right? But still, learning curve is not huge compared experimental people. So that is advantage for the computational people, I think.
thank you.
Very good question. So that's why I love computational work also.
Thank you so much, Seonah. What a great presentation. I really love to know about your career path, but also about your research. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for your time and listening. I also enjoyed a lot, and a lot of questions I never think about it. But please think about it, never late. You are all on track. You guys are a lot faster than me. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And feel
Thank
free
you.
to email me if you have any questions. All right. Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye.